Okay guys, welcome back to Waziko Graphics, and today I'm going to take you through the step-by-step tutorial on how to design a funeral poster or a 1-week poster for a funeral service on Adulting. And I'm using Photoshop CC 2014. Here is the resources we are going to use, and here is the Photoshop CC. Here is the text that we are going to use, and here is the Photoshop CC 2014. So let's not waste time, let's get into it. And if you are new here, kindly subscribe to the channel, and if you are old here, thank you for being there for us. Thank you very much. So let's go to the file, then we create a new layer, and I'm using we'll go to the presets, we'll go to international paper, then I'm using A4 paper. So we'll come to the size, then you will get the A4. So we click OK. So then here is our background. So we add a solid color to it. We add a solid color to it. So let's say white. Then so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the background, which is this. So I'm going to drag and drop into the background into the show. So I right click on it, rasterize it, Ctrl+T to transform it, then I will expand it to cover the whole workspace like this. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Ctrl+U to use the hue saturation, and here I'm going to set the lightness to, let's say, 35, and the saturation to, let's say, 20, something like this. So I'll click OK. Then decrease the opacity, reduce the opacity to, let's say, 70, 80 is okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my rectangular tool and draw a small rectangle here like this. Okay, so I'll come to the properties, then I'll set the corners to, let's say, 200. Okay, let's make it 250 pixels. Okay, so this is it. So the next I'm going to do is I'm going to Ctrl+A to select all, then and centerize it, align horizontally, then Ctrl+T to transform it, hold shift and drag it top like a little bit like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the image, which is this Elder Isaac Kwasheke Apeja. So I'll just bring it in like this. So right click on it and rasterize it, then Ctrl+T to transform it. Then I'll decrease the size to somewhere like this, something like this. It's okay. So I'll position it somewhere like this. Okay, so the next I'm going to do is I'm going to add layer mask to it. Then I'll choose my brush. Then let me set here to, let's say, 700. So I'm going to brush off here, the sharp edge like this. Okay, so the next I'm going to do is I'm going back to here and set a gradient color to it. So I'll right click on it and go to the blending option and go to the gradient. I've already set my gradient, so there are more gradients here, but I think I have the gradients here. Let's okay. Okay, so I'll set it to 100%. Okay, let's see, let's choose another gradient. Okay, I think this one is okay. So here is the S code for the first, and here is the second S code, and the link of this will be in the description for you to download and try your hands on it, including the test PDS will be in the description. So the next I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this gradient to the angle will go to, let's say, 0%, and then I'll reverse it. I'll set the reverse like this, so we will have something like this. So to Control plus T, so something like this. Then I'll Shift plus Alt to expand it a little bit like this. Then okay, so the next I'm going to do is I'm going to do on the 1 week celebration. So let me zoom it a little bit for you to see what we're about to do. Okay, so the next I'm going to bring in 1 week celebration. So as we have set I've already written the text down so that it will make the tutorial very easy and simple. So 1 week celebration, and so I'll position the 1 week here like this. Then the next I'm going to right click on it and go to the blending option, set a gradient color. We are using the same gradient for the shape, the rectangular shape, so we go to the, and if you want to know how to download and install gradient color into your Photoshop, I'll put the link. I have a video on it, and I'll put the link in the description for you to watch and know how to download and install gradients on your Photoshop. So I'll turn the angle to left and set the reverse like this. The next I'm going to do is I'm going to set a stroke. I'll set the stroke to, let's say, white. I will say white stroke like this, and set the stroke to, let's say, 5, and the position will be outside. The position will be outside. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add a drop shadow like this. So I'll increase here like this, then a little bit of here, then the size will be something like this. So I'll go back to the and decrease the size a little bit like this, then back to the shadow, then reduce this a little bit like this. Then I'll set this to 0 and the angle to 0% like this. So I'll reduce the opacity to, let's say, 45. Okay, so it's okay. So the next I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the lit and the shape. So I will select both, then drop it here. So something, I will just position it something like this. Okay, so I'll back to here to the one, then hold Alt, click and add like this, but I don't need the shadow and the stroke, so I'll just turn them off. Then the next I'm going to do is I'm going to set this, going to position this one very here like this. Okay, so right click on it and rasterize it. So the next I'm going to select here to here, is it to here, from here to here, Control plus J and group it and call it back. So from here to here, I'll Control plus J and I'll call it 1 week test. So as you can see, one is turned off, all is gone. So this will help me to differentiate each. So this is the background, so on this one you see that everything is gone. So the next I'm going to work on it is let me reduce the size so that you can see what we are working on. So okay, so I'll pick this, transform it, then hold shift and open it up a little bit like this. Okay, so here is our 1 week done. So the next I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the age. So I'll bring the age, this and this, which is 65 years old. So I'll bring in the age here. So here I have the age. So the next I'm going to pick, select an across tool, hold shift and draw an across like this. So this, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to position it here. Okay, right click on it and go to I'm going to set the color to, let's say 0, something like this. Okay, so let's say 0 is not good. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, so I'm going to right click on it, set and I have already done this, so I'll just take you through so that you can see. Here is it. So on the steps of how to do this is this. So first we set a gradient color. As we know, we are using the same gradient color, so no need for it. So after that you go to the stroke and you set the gold gradient. So this is the gold gradients I used, and the size of it will be, let's say 45. The next I'm going to do is go to emboss, then you set the style to stroke, then you increase the depth to 490, then the size will be 38, soft is 1, So the size will be 38, the soft will be 2. Then gross corner, you choose double ring, and so the rest will be 50-50. So this is how we go about how we get this shape. So the next thing we are going to do is, we already have this, so we select this and move them here like this. So I'll bring them top here as like this. Okay, so the next I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this like this, expand this a little bit like this. Okay, let me zoom it a little bit for you to see what we are doing. So okay, so I right click on it, I'll pick my text to select all, then I choose a color which is the yellow like this. So I'll position it very well here like this. Okay, I'll pick this one to highlight it and set the color to white. Then I'll position it here somewhere here. Okay, so the next I'm going to do, I want a shadow over it, so I'll hold Alt, then give it a shadow like this. At the same time, I'll do the same, hold Alt, then press and drag to it. So that's how we have achieved this. So the next I'm going to do is select this plus this, we go Control plus J, we group it and we call it age. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the name. So I'm going to drag in the names and I'll go it once, then I'll take my time and edit it. So here is the name, so I'll send them all here. Cool. Here's the names. Okay, so I'll open up like this and set them to okay, something like this is okay. So the next I'm going to do is I'm going to work on them one by one. So first I'll start with the Elder Isaac. I'll pick my text to select it and set the color to white. Okay, so the next I'm going to do on Elder Isaac is I'll go back to the age, hold Alt and drag this to this. Right click on it, copy layer style. Then the next I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it and paste layer style. So now I have my shadow over it. So the next I'm going to work on this one is I'm going to choose a color for it, and the same color will be yellow as I use here, so like this. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to also right click on it, paste a layer style for. So the next thing I'm going to work on it is this and this. Before I work on this, I will choose my rectangle. I'm going to choose my rectangle and draw a small circle around this like this. Okay, so with this circle I'm going to set the color to white. Set the color to white. Then the next I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the properties and set the angles to 25. Let's say it goes to 35. Okay, so something like this. It's okay. So the next I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this, set this to here, something like this. So I'm going to make a duplicate of this. I'm going to make a duplicate of this. Right click on it and make a duplicate of this. Then and turn this to yellow like this. So I'll right click on it and rasterize the layer. Then I'll pick my selection tool and select from here to here, then and delete it off and clean it. So I'll press Ctrl plus D, then I'm done with the AKA. So the next I'm going to bring in the frame. So we are going to work on the frame here. So I'll bring in the frame like this. Okay, I'll right click on it and rasterize it. Let me decrease so that you can see what we're doing here. So, okay, so I'll pick my magic wand to select here and clean it off, and I'll select here again, right click on it and make a copy of it like this. Then I'll come back and select it again and clean it off. And clean it off. And so here, that's what we are going to have. So I'll Ctrl plus T to transform it, and I'm going to reduce the size to something like this. Okay, I'm going to position it here. Okay, something like this. Okay, so bring here a little bit like this. Then here we okay. So I will set this to here. Okay, so this is it. So I'm going to turn on this shape that way. I'm going to reduce this shape to something like this. Something like this. Then I'll bring it here. So the next I'm going to do, I'm going to size this one to like this. Something small like this. Then I'll bring this under it like this. So I'm going to make a duplicate of the image. Ctrl plus J. Then I'll set it in between this. Right click on the and delete layer marks. Then I'll transform it and turn it very small like this. Okay, so the next I'm going to do is Ctrl plus Shift plus U to desaturate it like this. Then Ctrl plus Alt, then I'll reduce the size to something like this. So the next I'm going to do is right click on it and create a cripple mask. Okay, so like this. Okay, so we now have shape. So I'll select here, plus here, group it and call it pick frame. Okay, then I'll come back to the name. As you can see, there's a line here, so we are going to work on it. That's one too. So I'll back to the frame, select, pick my selection tool, select here and clean it off. So the next thing I'm going to do is, so as you can see, let me zoom it a little bit for it. Zoom it a little bit for you to see. Okay, so here we are. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to select from here to here, Control plus Gen, go and call it name, meaning the name. So, okay, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the last text that we have, which is this. So I'll pick this and drag, bring it here like this. Control plus it to highlight all and center it horizontally. I'll bring it a little bit up here like this. Transform it, Control plus Alt and expand it. Expand it like this. So something like this. Okay, so we are good to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a shadow under this edge. So I'll go back to the edge. Inside the edge, I'll pick my eclipse to draw a small shape here like this. Then I'll bring it under it. So I'll select and change it to black like this. Right click on it and rasterize it. Then I'll go to the filter and set a gradual blur to it, so it will have something like this. So I'll transform it and position it like this. I will just decrease the opacity a little bit like this. Okay, it will be, so we are good to go. So guys, this is how to design a simple funeral poster for a 1 week or for a whole funeral poster. And our next tutorial will be on how to design a full funeral poster, including the day, the children's and other things. And that will be our next video on how to design a full poster for a funeral service or a burial service. And this is for only for 1 week, and it can be used for other stuff. And next we are going to take on, this lesson will be continued until we finish with the invitation card on a funeral poster. So thank you for being with us, watching this tutorial. And if this tutorial has been a help to you, kindly subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and anytime you upload the video, you will be the first person to have it. Thank you. Here's Waziko Graphic GH. Bye.